Rob Schmitt tonight, a live look at our nation's capital tonight. We don't take this picture very often, but it's a much nicer place in the last 10 or 12 days. And the President of the United States, we're still trying to figure out exactly what's going on. They're being very tight-lipped about this, is potentially doing some kind of a tour of his newly federalized capital city. He wants to see what's going on. It's a move that he actually revealed to Newsmax, telling our own Todd Starnes that he wanted to see his crackdown in action. He spoke a little bit ago to a very large crowd, just about maybe 90 minutes ago. We're not sure exactly what he's up to right now, but here he was about 90 minutes ago. Take a listen.
But I've never received so many phone calls thanking me for what we've done in Washington, D.C. They said, you know, what you've done it's unprecedented, because what they said it was just unsafe. But the crime numbers are way down. I'm looking at, you saw some of the stats. They just read them out to me inside, the numbers that we haven't seen here ever. It was worse than ever just a short while ago, but now it's going to be, I think now, right now, it's better than it has been in years. And in a couple of weeks, it's going to be even far better than that. And everybody's safe now. Everybody feels safe.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And if we get some of this video, whatever's happening, as soon as it comes in, we'll feed it to you. Obviously, you'll see it right here on Newsmax. And I'm not sure anybody expected D.C. to change as quickly as it has. It's honestly remarkable to see how fast, when you tell the bad guys that you're coming for them, how fast they stop committing crime. Take a listen to this.
For the first time in a long time, D.C. has gone 7 days without a homicide. And that's not all. Carjackings are down 83%. Robberies are down 46%. Car thefts down 21%. And overall violent crime is down 22%.
Something else, a local news report there. No murders in the nation's capital for a full week. FBI making more than 31 arrests just last night. Illegal guns, drugs have been seized, charges of assaulting an officer, theft, assault with a deadly weapon. These are the types of people they're picking up. The scum that had gained a foothold on a lawless city are being rounded up. The ones that have not been yet are hiding. It is a much-needed cleansing, and the message to the local politicians who destroyed Washington for all these years: the White House is going to show your constituents that they don't have to live like this. Even though the vast majority of the people in Washington hate Trump and have resisted this, they're going to force you to sit there and live a better life. The reckoning that this could bring could be legendary. Inner city black residents who are not blinded by politics and Trump derangement, and there's a lot of those in Washington, will end up thanking the president for finally cleaning up their city, while white liberals are going to continue to scream in outrage that law and order is now mandated in their town. Take a listen to this. Do you hear? I mean, was this not just incredible yesterday? Horrific comments were screamed at the vice president and the defense secretary as they toured Union Station, as less crime was occurring in Washington, D.C. That was the response you got from the white liberals to less crime, to less dead black kids, to less people being mugged and carjacked. That's how they responded. Vance responded to them.
You hear these guys outside, they appear to hate the idea that Americans can enjoy their communities, and they do the fact that D.C. a week ago had a higher murder rate than Trinidad and Tobago, which the United States State Department has said you shouldn't visit because it's unsafe. We ought to be able to enjoy great American cities. That's what we're trying to do in the Trump administration.
It is a bizarre world that we live in. You hear them screaming bloody murder because there is no murder. The vice president spoke on this again today.
Just like in Washington, D.C., the national capital of the greatest nation in the history of the world, there are no-go zones where you would not take a young family or you would not take young children. And that's true, I'm sure, all across the state of Georgia, all across our country, because our leaders decided that they would make our streets safe for criminals instead of safe for the people who pay our taxes and keep our communities going. We got to take America's streets back for the American people, and that's what the President of the United States is doing every single day.
If you want to understand the rage on this, why so many people are so angry, you might think it's as simple as the frustration of watching their distorted worldview crumble before their eyes, as crime rates have literally plummeted in a matter of days. Imagine realizing that. But in truth, I think it's more complicated that most of these people, don't really acknowledge the existence of badness in society. They don't acknowledge the criminal. They view criminals as victims of society, arresting them, hunting them the way they're being hunted right now, stopping them from victimizing the rest of us. These people see as a form of oppression on the criminal, on the people that they believe have already been left behind. As for the victims, and there are victims every time a violent crime is committed, it's against the victim, the left cannot acknowledge those people because their ideology creates so many of them, and they can't bear the weight of that guilt. So victims are just viewed as collateral damage that society must accept as we barrel through the hellscape that they promise us will lead us to some kind of utopia at the end, which of course, as we know, never happens. It is an utterly distorted worldview, and it is so violently held onto in a place like Washington, D.C. In the last election, D.C. residents chose Kamala Harris by 92.5%. How comical that this is the city that Trump is forcing them to accept a cleansing of. Washington is the epicenter of their cancerous ideology. It is the absolute worst of the worst. It is more left than New York, than San Francisco, than anywhere else probably in the world. And they're being forced to suffer through less crime. They'd rather have 1,000 dead black kids in the street and live in misery and poverty and filth and homelessness than to admit that their ideology on life, law and order, crime, on everything is idiotic. Earlier this week, the left went berserk over this video of an ICE arrest in Washington, D.C. A man screaming in Spanish that he just wants to work and is here to support his family. Take a look. Immediate rage tears came from that video as the man screamed on the ground. Even Fox's resident Democrat had to tweet out that it doesn't make D.C. safer. It'll just make people not come to D.C. The cruelty, she says, is always the point, because you were just expected to believe that that man wanted to work all day and feed his family. But shortly after his arrest, we learned again that the man was previously arrested for aggravated sexual assault of a child under 13 years old. It happened just last year. And again, they don't know how to keep their mouths shut until they know the whole story. How many times has this happened?
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.